I've talked to hundreds of people here in Japan about money, and a scary number of them say things like, I don't have any savings, I don't invest, I haven't really thought about retirement, I guess I'll just keep working until I die. I'm Ben from Retire Japan, and I help people in Japan learn more about personal finance, investing, and retirement so that they can live happier, more secure, and more enjoyable lives and don't have to keep working until they die. In this video, I'm going to go through the 5 things that you need to do to get started with personal finance and get yourself on a track to financial security. 1. Get to grips with your spending. 2. Save for emergencies. 3. Start investing. 4. Get the right insurance. And 5. Pay it forward. Now, assuming that you're earning a reasonable amount of money and that you can support yourself and your family, the most important factor is likely to be your spending. So getting to grips with your spending and making sure that you're spending money on things that make you happy, that make your life better, and you're not spending money on things that don't make you happy and don't make your life better. Unless you get control of your spending, it doesn't matter how much money you earn, because you'll just spend it all and there won't be anything left to save and invest. I recommend doing 3 things if you're trying to optimize your spending. First, track your spending for at least 2 or 3 months. This involves basically writing down everything you spend. You can either use a notebook, go old school, or there's all sorts of apps and similar things that you can use to track it electronically with your smartphone. One thing that I really like is MoneyTree. MoneyTree is an app that syncs with your credit cards and syncs with your bank accounts, and it allows you to see all your data really easily. I've got no affiliation with them. They're not sponsoring this video, unfortunately, but I do think they're a very useful tool. Second, try to cut down on your regular expenses. This is things like your rent. Can you move somewhere cheaper that's just as good? You know, if you have a look around. Can you move closer to work, cut down your transport expenses? Can you reduce your food expenses by shopping at different shops or batch cooking or making lunch? Can you reduce your mobile phone bill by switching to a low-cost provider? Can you reduce your internet bill? Anything like this where you can reduce a regular payment makes it really easy to save money over time. And third, really try to optimize your spending. So there's often ways in which we can get the same value by spending a lot less money. For example, if you're used to always going out drinking with your friends, perhaps you could have just as much fun or more fun, going for a walk with them, or going to the park and playing football, or going for a hike in the mountains, or having them come over for dinner and a board game. If you normally go out drinking in bars, perhaps you could drink at home and save money that way. It's not about trying to save every last penny. It's about trying to optimize your spending so that you're just as happy as you were before, but you're spending less money. 2, save for emergencies. So generally speaking, everyone is going to need an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a bunch of cash that you have access to that's liquid and that's not going to change in value. And basically that means just having a bank account, a separate bank account where you have maybe 3 to 6 months expenses put away for emergencies. And that does mean emergencies. This isn't a way to save for your next holiday. You need another account to do that. So an emergency fund is basically to pay for things that you couldn't see coming. It's not to pay for, shaken. It's not to pay for your commuter ticket. It's basically to pay for things like having an accident, suddenly having to fly back to Europe because of a death in the family, not being able to work, being hospitalized, having a large bill, losing your job. Once you have your emergency fund, it's time to start investing. Now, in Japan, as long as you're not a US citizen, that's probably going to mean opening a NISA account, opening an iDeCo account, and investing in mutual funds. There's a lot of videos on this channel about that. I'm not going to go into it now. But if you don't have a NISA account yet, and you're not using iDeCo to save for retirement, you definitely need to be looking into those options because they're the best way to get started investing in Japan. If you can save just 30,000 yen a month into a NISA account and invest in a world stock mutual fund with low fees, after 30 years, it's very likely you'd have over 30 million yen, which is going to be enough money to get you prepared for retirement and a stress-free life. If you can invest more, you'll end up with even more. So it's a very good idea for you to get started as soon as you can. 4, get the right insurance. This is insurance that you need to protect you against catastrophic life setbacks. Things like life insurance if you have a family or dependents, people that would be in trouble if you weren't around to provide for them. You need car insurance if you drive. Unlimited third-party cover, please. I've met a lot of people that didn't have that and came to regret it. Travel insurance if you go abroad, especially to America. In Japan, private health insurance is not really necessary because the public health insurance has a monthly cap on how much you have to pay. That's based on your income, but for most people it's around 80,000 yen. So if you go into hospital, need a major operation, the most you'll be asked to pay is your monthly cap, which is likely to be in the 80 to 100,000 yen range. And 5, pay it forward. So talk to people around you about personal finance. Make sure they understand the options that they have here in Japan. Talk to your kids about personal finance. Getting started early is an amazing gift if you're getting your finances in order, if you're starting to invest. I started investing in my 30s. I wish I'd started in my 20s or earlier. I'd be much better off and I'd have had a lot less trouble along the way. If you have any questions about personal finance, about investing, about retirement in Japan, please leave them in the comments and please subscribe to the channel. We're going to be making a lot more content on here, and if you want to see it, you want to hit that subscribe button and click the bell next to it.